You are watching live here at Cellars of Sonoma in beautiful Railroad Square, Santa Rosa, California. Hi, and welcome to TV Tuesday Live. This is the show where we taste wine, we talk about wine, and I get to interview winemakers and chefs and people in the hospitality business. And tonight, we've got our good friend Michael Gann, Gann Family Cellars. Michael, welcome to TV Tuesday Live.
Good to be back, Scott.
Yeah. But you were slated a couple of weeks ago, and you hurt your back. I didn't ask you how you seem like you're moving around all right.
It's just one of those things where, you know, you're out at the gym or doing something stupid and you pick something up wrong and you just go, and you get a little back spasm and you're just kind of laid out for 2 days and lots of Advil, and
then you're okay.
The spasm lets go and you're right back to.
Oh, well, my wife has a terrible problem with her back. Yeah. My son Kevin and Scott Lee both have terrible problems. And I'm lucky because I don't get, but I get an occasional scenario where, and that just knocks you down.
Lift with your legs.
Legs, right?
Yeah,
that's what my mom told me as a kid. That's all she ever said. Bend your knees, bend your knees. Yeah. So we're glad that you're
back.
You're back. You're doing good. Yeah, I was down in the dumps last week. Oh my gosh, I got sicker than a dog first time in a long time.
Flu?
Big time. Yeah, but I found out who the carriers were. I killed them. They were done. So.
Okay.
So forget the flu shots. You don't need that. Just find the carriers. Get rid of them.
Kill them.
Oh, that was horrible. I don't wish that on my worst. Oh my God. So we get to taste Michael's wines tonight. We're going to taste. We picked 4 out of the portfolio, and then we have a little special surprise that we'll introduce as well. And then I'll tell you guys a little bit later about some things we've got coming up this weekend and over the next couple of weeks. And I'm kind of in a semi-part-time attitude because a week from tomorrow we fly. A week from Thursday of this week, we will be with my boys flying to spring training. So I will
the annual trip
a month early. We couldn't get anything in March at all at the hotel we wanted to stay at. So I'm going to be having a lot of fun and thinking about all of you. Want to say hello to my bloggers out there. We've got Dan and I think Denzel is got something going on with one of his kids at some program or something. So we won't have Denzel, but we do have, I know that Grace Hoffman's in the house. She's going to be tuning in. And let's see, Sean from Southern California will be on.
Okay.
And they are big fans of your wines. And so you guys ask questions as we go along. We'll be happy to answer them.
As best we can.
Yeah, we'll just kind of figure it out. And I'm going to have winemakers in as many weeks in a row as we can. And we're also going to be tasting the wine club shipments. And then we'll do the same thing with you, Michael, when we release the wine for the wine club coming up March.
I'm back on Tuesday, March 5th. So that'll be kind of right on the front end of the shipment. And, so we can... I love it when you get the bloggers and get them the wine in advance, and we can all kind of have this virtual.
And boy, do they like it too.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, they love that. Yeah. So anyway, that we'll be moving that forward and get as many winemakers in. And I'm working on a really cool thing with Jack and Tony's down the street. We're going to do a mystery wine dinner where during the broadcast, he's going to cook dinner for us. We're going to have 3 wines that he does not know what they are. Then the other guests that are having dinner on that same menu are going to not know what they're going to have to eat. They're not going to know what the wine is until we unveil them. And as soon as I unveil wine number 1, he has to come up with the dish that goes with that.
Oh, wow.
And then wine 2 and 3,
Now,
all within the
where's
hour.
this going to be held?
We're gonna
You're
shoot
gonna
it
go I was
down
gonna
there.
say, if he's going to do it on the fly, you got to go down there.
Yeah, we're gonna do it right down in the
And is
restaurant.
that a limited seating kind of thing?
It's going to have to be really limited for those that want to play the game with us. Yeah, so you'll have to make reservations, and we'll announce that well in advance so everybody knows.
That's cool.
Won't that be cool?
I like that.
Like putting him right on the spot. He
It's
will
like
not know
one
what.
of those chef shows where
Oh,
they're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
here's the ingredients you get, make something.
Yeah, make it
You
happen.
just got to like be all creative
Yeah.
on the fly.
Yeah,
I like that.
it's going to be cool. So we're going to test out some logistics.
Iron Chef.
And yeah, so we'll come up with some really cool name. Maybe we'll have a contest where you guys can help us name this thing. So we'll do that.
Great, I like it.
Okay, so tonight we're going to start out with the first wine is going to be Sauvignon Blanc, 2007 from Russian River. Tell us a little bit about this wine, Michael. Big seller here in the tasting room.
Yeah, this is a big seller for us. This is a wine. So this is all grown up at the estate vineyard in.
Oh,
Come on.
oh,
over.
come here. She's so shy.
This is grown up on the Russian River, on benchland soils, just off of the river there. You've been to the property, you know.
Sure.
And
Well, that's a vine from that
that's the
vineyard
vine over there,
Yeah.
right? They were planted in 1978, so they're quite old. When people come out, they look at the size of those things and they go, those are not vines, they're tree trunks.
Yeah.
Because they're huge.
Is that unusual that Sauvignon Blanc was planted that long in? I mean,
Well, that it's lived this long, yeah, that is unusual.
is it a vine that doesn't like
It usually, yeah.
that
If it-
longevity?
Well, the one that you've got up on the wall is a classic case of what we call a dead soldier, right? I mean, it lived a full life and then it died and,
Yummy.
tipped over and, we grabbed it and had it mocked up on the wall there. And if it doesn't die of its own natural causes, a lot of times what you have is the finance group coming in saying the yields are at a point that it makes sense to replant now, because when the yields really dip down,
Right.
you're looking at your farming costs, you're looking at your land costs, you're looking at some of the core pieces that go into cost of goods sold, and then all of a sudden it can be challenging to make any money on the wine. So at some point you might say, hey, if we replant this and put in new, we might go from 2 tons an acre, 3 tons an acre, up over 6. Well, now you've got triple the yield, and boom, that can change the whole economics of what's going on. So,
But of course, then you got to also then look at the timeline, I guess, from planting to being able to use.
that's a big part of the business.
Right, that's a
There's-
whole nother-
Everything has a life cycle to it, right?
And people don't really understand that scenario. When you replant, those of you that are not familiar, when you replant like that, you're talking about what, 3 years
3 years.
before you really have usable, or 4 years.
You can cheat it by buying a plant that's a year old in a large, they call them large potted plants. So it's like a year-old plant that you put in the ground. So then you can get fruit in year 2. But then you've got the winemaking cycle, which could be 6,
that's-
9, 12 months. So
And
like,
then in the bottle for a while, and
cash
then
flow changes.
yeah, and then so that delay can, as a grower and as a winemaker, boy, that's expensive, and it starts to back up on you.
Well, most vineyards have several blocks, and usually it's kind of a phased approach, and you try and keep things out of phase so that, while you're ripping and replacing something, you still have a whole huge chunk of the rest of your vineyard that's productive and bringing the cash flow in. So this is, we joke about this being old vine Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
Technically, it's not 50 years old, but damn close. And so it just has a lot of character to it. It's kind of the classic California style. It's got a lot of the tropicals to it. It's got a lot of the citrus, a lemon layer to it. It's got a grapefruit, maybe a pineapple. Got a little bit of melon in there. It's kind of classic California Sauvignon Blanc, which is radically different than the style that you would get from New Zealand, which tends to be very grass-driven, hay, cut grass, much more herbaceous layers to it, or very different from, say, a Sancerre that would come out of France, which has a tremendous mineral component to it.
Okay.
just so stylistically, I think it's right on, kind of the California style. Also, stylistically, we don't blend. This is 100% Sauvignon Blanc. You'll find some Sauv Blancs that blend in Semillon, which is a little more floral, sweeter note to it. And for me, it just takes Sauv Blanc in a different direction that I don't find appealing or kind of pure to the varietal. So we elect to go with 100% Sauvignon.
Makes it real versatile. Did you have a question? Go ahead, Karina. Fire away.
My Vine Spot, aka Dazelle, is asking if you're
Oh,
going to make.
he is it?
He is.
He is.
He is.
He's
Okay.
watching, and he has no kids.
Oh,
Oh, so then somebody texted me today, and I thought it was
Yeah.
his phone number. And I didn't have a name, just had a phone number. So, sorry.
That's okay. Well,
Gave you
So
some
he would
kids.
like to know if you're going to make any more of the late harvest Sauv Blanc, or if that was just a one-time deal.
yeah. So one-time deal. One-time deal. Yeah. That was kind of a unique situation where we had kind of a combination of variables. It was 2005, which was a huge year from a fruit perspective.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And also a year where, kind of from a contracts perspective, we had a little more fruit than we knew what to do with. So those situations don't exist anymore. So I don't see us making another late harvest. But I will say that 05 late harvest still tastes amazing.
Well, anybody that's really looking to have a little sweeter wine, they gravitate to that really well because it's not overly sweet, but it does satisfy what many people are asking for when they're thinking about sweeter wines. So we grab it in a pinch when we get that person in.
Well, and you think about that style of wine and the way it's made. I mean, there are some very famous sauternes that go decades,
Yeah.
and they're still drinking great. So we've only made it once. I have no idea what the runway is going to be for that wine, but it tastes great. Color's getting a little richer on it. It's turning. It's got that golden hue to it. So
Yeah.
the color's still there. Hasn't gone over the end.
No, not at all.
The browns. Still tastes great.
No, we're loving it. The screen, our video screen. What does it look like on my computer? Oh, what about your bars? All your bars are up on mine? Hi, everybody. Technical difficulties here. You probably can't hear anything, so you don't have any clue. Maybe it's just your browser. So ask away.
Just to finish up on this
Yeah.
wine,
Uh-huh.
this wine is mostly tank fermented, so it has a nice crisp layer to it. We do take a little bit and age it in neutral oak barrels. Not that we're trying to impart any oakiness on this. This is not a Sauvignon Blanc wannabe Chardonnay. This is nice crisp Sauv Blanc. But what we find when we put a little bit of it into the barrels and age it,